A fireball was coming to the top of the village. As the whole village saw this sparkly light growing in the sky, they shouted in fear. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It would make us very happy. Women grabbed their children and hurried into their homes, while the elders sank to their knees and began to pray. At that moment, the sky was split by flames, and a massive dragon glided out. Its pure white body dazzled with fluctuating blue and green glimmers at the edges. Its eyes were ice blue, filled with an ancient weariness. As its wings enveloped the sky, every heart in the village felt that a legend was alive. But this was not the end of a beginning. In a hut built with old stones just below the village, a young woman was trying to understand the source of the screams. Her name was Nala. She was a doctor with a slender build, long braided hair, dark skin, and silent but powerful eyes. She had received her education in a big city, then returned to her birthplace to provide free health care for everyone. Her mother had died of a disease, and her father had perished in a fire during her childhood. After that day, an old woman raised her, filling her with ancient knowledge. This wisdom was like a light coming from within Nala. She approached people with compassion, listened to nature, and healed illnesses not only with medicine but also through inner balance. However, the villagers talked more about her beauty than her wisdom. But the village's oldest woman, the wrinkled, wise Wea, knew who she was. She is the child that the stars whispered about, she had once said. When the time comes, the sky will remember her, especially Tando. Tando was one of the young and wealthy farmers in the village. He was a proud man with severe looks, short but stout. Since the first moment he saw Nala, he had been obsessively in love with her. Her presence ignited within Tando the suppressed passion and jealousy. Nala's kindness appeared to him like an unreachable nobility. He proposed to her multiple times, offered gifts, and sent mediators to his family. However, Nala gently turned him down time and again. These rejections grew into a resentment within Tando. It was not just love that was wounded, but his pride as well. The mere thought of Nala being with someone else kept him awake at night. One night, swallowing his pride, Tando walked to a half-ruined hut at the edge of the forest outside the village, among the moss-covered stones. The woman living inside had once been a powerful healer, but now uttering her name was deemed a curse, Mbazula. Her face was lined, and her eyes deep enough to see within the darkness. Bind her to me. Either she will be mine or no one's. Zula squinted her eyes. To taint a pure heart with darkness requires a price, she said. A soul will be bound. The fate of an innocent will change. The dragon will weep at night. Your heart will burn by day. And in the end, she will fear you before her beloved eyes. But Tando was ready to pay any price to burn the fate that denied him Nala. The magic performed that night not only released Nala, but also unleashed an ancient curse sealed within the depths of the sky. The dragon born from the flames was the soul of a man who had once been a warrior of justice and honor. His name was Cairo. Centuries ago, he had sworn to protect his people. However, when betrayed by those he trusted the most, the goodness within, his heart was sealed by a curse. His body transformed into a dragon while his soul was exiled among the stars. Since then, he had seen the same face in his dreams night after night, the face of Nala. But this was not a coincidence. It was a calling. It was a destined meeting inscribed in the fabric of time and soul. What he saw in her eyes was the echo of the past. The soul of the woman he loved had been reborn, and now that face was real. As the dragon encircled the village with flames, it hovered in the air without harming a single life. Its eyes were fixed directly on Nala's hut. Nala stood at her door, looking up at the sky. She was not afraid, because in the dragon's eyes, she saw something that no one else could: familiarity and perhaps love. That night, Nala could not sleep. When she closed her eyes, the walls of her hut vanished, and a void woven with stars enveloped her. This was not a dream. It was as if she was walking in another realm. The ground beneath her feet was shrouded in mist, and the sky was filled with enchanting lights oscillating between purple and deep blue. And right in front of her, a pair of eyes appeared, ice blue, but they carried a burning warmth. A voice erupted from among the stars. It was neither a whisper nor a conversation. It was a call that directly touched her heart. Nala, I have whispered your name to the winds for centuries. I have awaited your light in the darkness. You have come. You are the only thing in this world that remembers me. Tears streamed down Nala's cheeks. She did not know what was happening, but that voice felt familiar. It was as if she had once loved, as if she had once embraced him. At that moment, she reached out her hands. The mist parted, and the elegant, massive dragon appeared before her. Its wings were open, but it was not flying. It was standing still. It was waiting. The dragon leaned forward. It lowered its head toward the ground. Nala was sure that her heart recognized it. Gently, she walked towards it, and the moment her fingertips touched the dragon's forehead, the stars darkened for an instant. The soul of Cairo resonated freely in the universe for the first time. I have found you. My oath will be fulfilled, or I will vanish forever. Nala awoke with a start. When she sat up in her bed, the echoes of screams, sounds of fighting and crying children pierced her ears. Black smoke was rising from the center of the village, and people were running in all directions. The magic of Tondo had awakened, releasing not just the dragon but all the hidden evils within them. Animals were running wild. Wells were drying up, and babies were inexplicably feverish. Throughout the night, multiple houses burned. Some villagers had started to attack one another. Nala burst out of her hut with bare feet. Her eyes were filled with worry, yet her heart was filled with the warmth she felt in that dream. The dragon, Cairo. He was not a disaster, but a warning. Perhaps salvation. Days passed. The chaos in the village did not cease. One morning, Nala set out to collect herbs from the peaks. While walking amidst the healing plants in the gray mist, she heard a hum that danced on the wind. It called her name, Nala. As she stepped from behind a rock, she found Cairo before her. His pure white body shone brilliantly. He had lowered his head, his chest silently rising and falling. Upon seeing him, she stepped back. Hurt flickered in his eyes. "Why have you come?" the dragon asked, its voice as deep as thunder but imbued with childlike fragility. Nala approached him, her eyes filled with tears. "Because this village misunderstood you. But I recognized you in my heart. Dreams do not lie. Within you, there is not only flame but also your past, your longing and your oaths." Cairo remained silent. Then he slowly placed his head to the ground. Nala sat beside him. It was not the act of a woman sitting next to a legend. It was the touch of one heart to another, incomplete heart. And at that moment, a bird began to sing in the valley. It was as if nature itself bore witness to this reunion of two souls. Nala stood up silently. There was not a drop of fear in her eyes. She walked closer to the dragon's massive head, placed her hand on his cheekbone and looked into his eyes. Then she leaned down and gently, lovingly, and respectfully kissed the dragon's scaly forehead. At that moment, the sky hushed. The wind stopped. The dragon's eyes squinted as a long, suppressed pain slightly dissipated. The curse of centuries was remembered with a kiss. Cairo did not say anything. He spread his wings, bowed his head to Nala one last time, and soared into the sky, leaving behind only a few blue sparkles vibrating among the stones. But as he disappeared, the darkness in the village grew even more. One night, in one of the houses of those practicing magic in the village, roofs suddenly collapsed. The next morning, the villagers woke up to screams. Tondo's fields had withered, and Imbazula's hut was in ruins. In the sky, a giant silhouette appeared for an instant, then disappeared. A message written in flames remained on the ground. Justice has come. Cairo had returned, but now he was no longer just a legend. He was the conscience of the village. Day by day, the village began to return to normal. Illnesses gradually decreased, wells filled with water again, animals calmed down, and the land started to bear fruit once more. Nala was no longer looked upon as a stranger. Her wisdom was beginning to be revered alongside the salvation of the village. Children greeted her with respect, and the elders bowed their heads in submission. The wise old Wea had whispered just one sentence: "He has returned," and he brought his heart with him. However, Nala was slowly crumbling inside. With each passing day, her eyes looked more tired. She was refusing to eat and spending her nights alone staring at the stars. Her beauty still shone, but a deep longing lay within. The thought that she might never see him again weighed heavily on her heart. The ache of love was weakening her spirit as much as her body did. One night, while the whole village was asleep, a familiar light shone in the sky. Nala opened the door of her hut. That light was like his arrival. Then came the voice with, "The wind, Nala, come." She walked toward the depths of the forest. Under the moonlight, she found her way, stepping delicately among the wild grasses. Finally, she reached an ancient temple hidden among the giant trees. The stones were glowing. The silence was enchanting. And there, right under the moonlight, Cairo in his dragon form awaited her. Nala was overcome with tears. She ran to him and hugged him. Leaning her head against his neck, her trembling hands touched his scales. "I have never forgotten you," she said. "I would wait for you until my last breath. I recognized you the very first time I saw you. I love you, Cairo. I love you fearlessly, along with your past. No matter what you become, who you are, I will stay by your side. Because my heart is already living with you." The massive body of the dragon trembled. His eyes sparkled. Nala's tears fell onto his scales. And at that moment, with an explosion of light, the body of the dragon began to change. The wings folded back, the scales slowly turned to skin. The body compressed but did not lose its grandeur. Now before her stood a tall, dark-skinned, muscular man with handsome features. His long black hair gathered at the back of his head. His eyes remained ice blue. His upper body was bare, and his muscles were defined in the light of the moon. He was wrapped in a slender but beautifully patterned cloth around his waist. Cairo was now human, and his first words were, "I have returned to you." Nala lowered her head in tears. Cairo approached and gently lifted her chin with his fingertips. When their eyes met, words became unnecessary between them. "Cairo," Nala whispered, "to touch you is a miracle. To hear your breath is the awakening of my heart. If you wish, let us complete this lifetime together, for I no longer want to wake up to a morning without you." Cairo's hands caressed Nala's cheeks. His fingers gently wiped her tears. Then he leaned his forehead against hers. "I do not want that either," he said. "If you hadn't found me, the curse would have turned my heart to stone. But you did not transform me into a human. You gave my heart its spirit back." That night in the heart of the ancient temple, the sky silently sang a song with stars. Two hearts were reborn from the ashes of a 1,000-year curse. The next day, with the first light of dawn, Nala and Cairo descended together from the stone steps of the temple. The forest path silently bid them farewell, leaves bowing to their cue, steps and birds singing melodiously. As they approached the village, the sounds of bells and children's laughter welcomed them. The villagers initially gathered in whispers, and then quickly formed a large crowd. Those who saw Nala knelt down, while others, unable to recognize Cairo in his human form, stared in disbelief. However, the familiar light in his eyes reminded everyone of who he was. Wise Wea stepped forward, leaning on her staff. "The heart from the sky is now among us, and the woman chosen by the stars has healed him," she said. Nala and Cairo held hands. Quietly, they walked together to the center of the village. He was no longer a being to fear. He had become an entity to pray. When Nala was not just a healer, she was the woman of legends. Once again, lights shone in the sky, but this time they heralded neither a curse nor fear. These were the lights of celebration. It was a reflection of love, loyalty, and freedom in the sky. But now he was not just a legend. He had become the conscience of the village. It was as if nature itself bore witness to this reunion of two souls.